Hey everyone, welcome back to Real Money Mindset Hub. If you've ever struggled with budgeting or felt like you never have enough money left over at the end of the month, today's video is for you. We're going to talk about zero-based budgeting, a simple but powerful way to take control of your finances and manage your money more effectively. Zero-based budgeting is a method where you allocate every single dollar of your income to specific categories, with the goal of having zero money left unassigned. Sounds a bit confusing, right? Don't worry, we're going to break it down step by step so you can get started today. So, what exactly is zero-based budgeting? Essentially, it's a budgeting method where you assign every dollar you earn a specific job. That means that by the time you're done creating your budget, your income should be fully allocated, no leftover money. Here's the idea: instead of just tracking your expenses or hoping there's something left over at the end of the month, you tell your money where to go ahead of time, so every dollar is spent or saved with purpose. Now you might be wondering, why should I use zero-based budgeting? What makes it different from other budgeting methods? Well, there are a few key benefits to this approach. Complete control over your money, helps you prioritize your spending, makes savings automatic, prevents overspending. With zero-based budgeting, you're giving every dollar a purpose, which helps you feel more in control of your finances. Plus, it helps you prioritize what's most important, like bills, savings, and even fun money. The best part? It prevents you from spending more than you earn, since everything is allocated in advance. So how does zero-based budgeting actually work? Here's the process, step by step. Step 1 is to figure out your total monthly income. This includes your salary, side gigs, and any other money you regularly receive. Let's say, for example, your monthly income is $2,500. Step 2 is to list all of your monthly expenses. This includes things like rent, utilities, groceries, transportation, insurance, and any debt payments you have. Don't forget to also include your savings goals. Yes, savings counts as an expense in zero-based budgeting. Step 3 is the fun part, allocating your income to each expense. Start with your essentials like rent, bills, and food. Then move on to things like savings, and lastly, allocate money for your fun categories like entertainment, dining out, or hobbies. Step 4 is where you adjust until the total amount of allocated funds equals zero. This is the key. Your goal is to have every dollar assigned to something. That's what makes this budgeting method zero-based. If you find that you've over-allocated in one category, say you accidentally put too much money toward entertainment, move some of it into savings or essential expenses to balance everything out. It's all about being intentional with your money. Let's walk through a quick example so you can see zero-based budgeting in action. Let's say our total income is $2,500. We've already listed our expenses: rent, utilities, groceries, debt, and so on. Now, we allocate the full $2,500 into these categories. Notice that when we add it all up, it equals $2,500 exactly. This is what zero-based budgeting is all about. We've given every single dollar a specific purpose. We're not just tracking expenses, we're assigning every dollar so that we know where it's going before we even spend it. And because we're budgeting for savings too, we're building a stronger financial future. Zero-based budgeting is super effective, but it does take a little planning and consistency. Here are a few tips to make sure you succeed with this method. First, review your budget regularly. Life changes, and your budget should change with it. Maybe you get a raise, or maybe you need to adjust spending in certain areas. It's important to make sure your budget is always working for you. Second, be flexible. Sometimes unexpected expenses come up. If you need to adjust a category or shift some funds around, that's perfectly okay. Just make sure you're still following the zero-based method by the end of the month. Next, track your spending. If you're allocating money to your categories but not tracking your actual spending, you're missing a key part of budgeting. Use a budgeting app or write things down manually. Just stay on top of it. And finally, always prioritize savings. You should treat savings as an expense that must be paid, just like rent or utilities. The more you prioritize saving, the better your financial future will look. Alright, let's quickly recap the steps to zero-based budgeting. Calculate your total monthly income. List your expenses. Allocate every dollar of your income to an expense or savings category. Adjust until your budget equals zero. Review your budget regularly and track your spending. By following these steps, you'll have a clear, purposeful budget that helps you control your finances and save more money. Gap 3S. Now that we've covered the basics, let's dive into the benefits of zero-based budgeting in more detail. Many people find this method life-changing for several reasons. First, zero-based budgeting gives you complete control over your finances. By assigning every dollar a job, you know exactly where your money is going. This level of detail can help you identify unnecessary expenses and make more intentional spending choices. Gap 2S, for example. Sarah, a working mom, said that zero-based budgeting helped her save an extra $300 a month by cutting out impulse buys and dining out less. She was able to redirect that money towards her children's education fund. Gap 2S. Another major benefit is reducing financial stress. Many users report feeling more at ease knowing they have a plan for every dollar. John, a freelance graphic designer, shared that zero-based budgeting allowed him to build an emergency fund quicker than he ever thought possible. This gave him peace of mind during slow work months. Gap 2S. Additionally, this budgeting method promotes financial accountability and transparency. Couples like Emily and Mark found that zero-based budgeting improved their communication about money. They now have regular budget meetings, which has strengthened their relationship and financial goals. Gap 2S. Finally, zero-based budgeting can accelerate your progress towards debt repayment and financial goals. Many people like Lisa, a recent college graduate, have used this method to pay off student loans faster and start saving for a down payment on a house. Gap 2S. These are just a few examples of how powerful zero-based budgeting can be. By giving every dollar a purpose, you can take control of your financial future and achieve your goals faster. Gap 2S. Now that you know the benefits, let's walk through a step-by-step guide to starting with zero-based budgeting. First, gather all your financial information, income, expenses, and any debts. This will give you a clear picture of your current financial state. Gap 2S. Next, choose a budgeting tool that works for you. There are many options, from simple spreadsheets to apps like YNAB, You Need a Budget, or Every Dollar. These tools can help automate the process and make it easier to track your spending. Gap 2S. Start by listing all your sources of income at the top of your budget. Then, write down all your expenses, including fixed costs like rent and utilities, as well as variable expenses like groceries and entertainment. Gap 2S. Assign every dollar of your income to a specific expense category until you reach zero. This ensures that every dollar has a job, whether it's paying bills, saving, or investing. Don't forget to include categories for debt repayment and savings goals. Gap 2S. Review and adjust your budget regularly. Life changes and your budget should be flexible enough to adapt. Make it a habit to check in with your budget weekly or monthly to ensure you're staying on track. Gap 2S. Finally, take advantage of resources like online tutorials, blogs, and community forums to keep learning and stay motivated. Many people find support and inspiration from others who are also using zero-based budgeting. Gap 2S. By following these steps, you'll be well on your way to taking control of your finances and achieving your financial goals. Good luck! Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you're feeling more confident about using zero-based budgeting in your own life. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, and make sure to subscribe for more personal finance tips. Let me know in the comments if you're going to try zero-based budgeting, or if you already use it. I'd love to hear your thoughts.